Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives.
Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Thank you for joining our call today. Appreciate those who are here live and also those of you who are listening on the podcast. Hopefully everything will go as planned today. I'm actually out in the main part of my house on my husband's computer today because my computer was doing some updates and didn't get done in time. And so there might be a little bit of noise here and there. So just forgive that if there is. But I think we should be good to go. Thank you for joining us. And today we're going to have a silent private meditation for 90 seconds on gratitude for resources. Obviously, I'm using my husband's computer today, so I'm super grateful for that extra resource that I had in my house. And there were some other things that were shared as we were doing our rounds of gratitude before we started the recording that made me think that some of the others on the call live today here are grateful for some of the resources that are available to them as well. So I feel like that will be a good subject for us. All right, so I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds and we're going to do a private silent meditation, gratitude for resources, and just write down wherever your thoughts take you. Begin. All right. The thought that came to me was about money, some extra. Actually, I kind of added the word extra in front of resources, extra resources. I have some extra money right now. I have some extra resources right now. And this morning, when I was in my daily GPS, I have to say also, I'm super grateful for the resource of daily GPS. Yesterday, I got up a little later than I usually do. I didn't actually end up doing my daily GPS at all. Yesterday, I think I did my little 5 minutes of yoga and then that was it. That was like, I just did the activity part and I didn't get to the other steps. And the whole afternoon was just so weird and crazy. And I just felt like I was kind of going from one thing to the next and things did not go according to plan. And it was such a weird afternoon. And I made the decision this morning that my daily GPS is like the most important resource that I have. And I'm really grateful that I did my daily GPS this morning because I have these extra resources in my bank account. And my immediate thought was, I'm going to put some of this in savings because it's good to have savings. And what if an emergency happens and I might need this later? And I've had an abundance of the garden and I've been, thinking about what am I, going to do with this extra? I've got a whole bunch of peaches on my countertop right now, my bar right now, and just, deciding what to do with those. And I've learned over these last couple of weeks, as I've been doing a study of charity, how important it is to give the excess away, and before it becomes waste or fat or debt. Those are the things that I'm learning, some of the things that I'm learning about charity. And I remembered when I was thinking about where am I going to put this excess money, I remembered that at the beginning of this week, when I was choosing my weekly goal, my goal is for this one particular credit card to be at a zero balance. And at the beginning of the week, it had probably about an $8,000 balance on it. So not huge, but I mean, more than what I could take care of like in one sitting. And I remembered that thought came to me, well, your goal is to pay off this credit card. And I battled with myself for just a half a minute, or half a second. It wasn't even really a whole second. I was just like, but, and then I was like, you know what? That is my human self trying to take control, and me thinking that there might not be enough later. And that's totally not faith. I mean, that totally is saying something against what I 100% believe, that God provides all the resources for us exactly when we need it. So there's no reason to feel like I need to hoard something, because I know that God's going to provide exactly what I need in the perfect moment. So it was so freeing and just like light and happy. And I could just let go of the need to have to know where that money got to go, because I already know the goal at the beginning of the month is to pay off the credit card. So all that excess gets to go to that resource, that money resource, and it frees up more excess funds that I can use at any time. I have that credit available to me at any time. So it's almost like I still have the money. It's like, it was so freeing and so awesome. I've never felt that good about paying off a credit card in the past. Today was just like amazing to have that experience. Who else has something they would like to share?
I'll share.
Thanks, Linda.
For me, just like a lot of limits came up. I was trying to like do this gratitude thing, but everything that kept coming up was like the thing that keeps me stuck or on the hamster wheel is the fear that I won't have enough or be enough. And I don't want to lead or be in charge of anything, because what if I don't show up for people the way they need me to show up? And so just a lot of fear in that and not recognizing. And so then I wrote down, God provides all. And I kind of did it bubble letters to where the G looked like an arrow pointing to these eyes, and it just helped. And for me, the word God then looked like it was showing me, see him in everything that's going on. And just remember that I'm here to do his work, and not to worry about how it works, but just to do what I'm asked to do.
Awesome. Making the choice to have faith. Sometimes it's hard to really fully step into that because of those limiting beliefs, and gratefully we're going to have that permission process at the end of this call, so you'll be able to work through those. Yeah. So, wow, how awesome to have the courage to step into faith, step out of fear and into faith. It'd be fun to see that the way that you wrote God. If you want to take a picture of that, and then after the call, post that on the Facebook group, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Who else?
I watched this video of this lady showing how breast milk works, and she put a little bit of blue dye so that you could see it easier, and she put it in a sponge, and she put 3 different glasses, and she just let the first of the milk drain, and it was mostly water, and then the second part was just a mixture of the water content and the fat content, and then the third cup was mostly fat. And she was explaining how your baby needs all three of those, of the first water content and then the mix and then the fat content is more satiating, and how our babies know what they need and our bodies respond to that. And I just thought that's an amazing resource that I have my babies, and that we all have, to at least to some extent. And I'm so grateful for how God designed everything. And it's so okay.
Awesome. I think we missed a little bit of what you said, Tyree. It was, I think it cut out just a little bit, but I think we got the gist of what you're saying about how God has created our resources to be so easily absorbable and in the perfect proportions, and the way that they come to us is perfect, and it's going to satiate and satisfy us in the best way. And one of the things I just learned with what you're saying, Tyree, is why we like dessert last, because dessert is usually got fat in it, and that's the most satiating. I never understood why you eat dessert last. I always thought, why don't we eat dessert first? But it's because we need the water. So that tells me I need to drink a bunch of water first before I eat. And that's actually probably really healthy too, because then I'm not as starving, and so I can eat less during my mix of all the other nutrients and things. And then I get to have dessert last, because that's the most satiating part, or that just finishes the satiating part. Thanks, Tyree. Michelle, I think you had something.
Yes, I was just thinking about the daily GPS, that, using the scriptures, and how the scriptures lead and guide us, and that is my resource, and everybody, for resources, and that just leaning on God and letting Him guide us through anything and trials in life, and just remember that He is there and His love is divine.
I love that. Thank you so much. If you happen to be listening to this call maybe for the first time and you're not understanding some of this terminology, daily GPS is it's like the most important thing that you can do in your day, obviously, from what we've talked about. And I can give you a free download of some pages, daily pages from the planner. It's like a little daily GPS starter kit, and there's also a 15-minute intro video. So just reach out to me on our Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude. You can comment there or send me a private message, and just tell me you'd like that starter kit for the daily GPS, and that'll explain all of that. It's really a powerful process. Thanks, Michelle. Any other thoughts before we shift over to our permission process? All right, let's go ahead and just take a deep breath. And first of all, just really being open to allow yourself to feel and see and acknowledge all of the resources that we have access to. I mean, just take a look around you. Just do a 360 view around you, in your home, in the room that you're sitting in, and look at all the resources that have been provided for you, that you have at your fingertips. Think of all the resources that were required to actually bring these things into your home, to actually purchase your home. I mean, all the resources that have already been afforded us. Look at the clothes that you're wearing, and just think about the food that you have eaten that has created this healthy body that you're sitting inside of right now. And just be aware and acknowledge all of the resources that God has provided. And if possible, step into 100% gratitude in this moment. Just step out of any fear and doubt of resources that maybe you're needing or wish you had or think you need or whatever. Just step out of that fear for just a moment and make the choice to step fully in gratitude for all that has been provided and all that is currently available to you right now. If you have $1 in your bank account, that is a resource. If you have a credit card that has $1 left available, that is a resource. If you have a friend who is willing to offer babysitting for free, that is a resource. Just become aware of all of the resources available to you, things that you didn't even realize. Just open your mind and heart for God to show you all the resources that are available to you right now. And just feel the gratitude and the contentment with everything being provided, with your daily needs. God's aware of them, and He always provides. And then also listen as you're being in this space of gratitude. Allow yourself now to let those limiting beliefs come in, because we're in this permission process. You know that you have the tool to take care of them, so it's completely easy and safe to allow those limiting beliefs to come into this space and write those down. And I know that they pale in comparison to all of the blessings all the blessings of resources that you have. But if they're there, then they need to be addressed. Let's take one more deep breath and recognize those limiting beliefs. And also be aware that maybe even these limiting beliefs are resources for you, that they can be feedback, they can be information that right now in this moment will allow you to let go of or step over an obstacle that has been with you for far too long. So express gratitude for this limiting belief for showing its head today. And then also acknowledge the cost that it has been creating, what consequence these limiting beliefs have been creating, and make the choice right now if you are willing to keep that limiting belief, or if you're willing to give yourself permission to choose a new belief, create some new resources, bring some new resources in for you. And if you're ready to give yourself permission to create some new resources, let that old limiting belief go, say yes.
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 Awesome. So what are those new beliefs? Go ahead and choose some new resources, new limiting belief or new beliefs that will take the place of that old limiting belief and create some new resources for you that maybe had not been available to you before because that limiting belief had hidden them. What are your new beliefs that are going to serve you better? And 2 or 3 new beliefs, and then go back to that space of gratitude and see that that limiting belief has been there. And then go ahead and as with all resources, at some point, material goods do deteriorate, and at a certain time, it becomes perfect to either pass that resource on to someone else if there's still some life left in it, or if it is actually a resource that is not serving anyone, then it is time to waste that resource, to throw that resource away and to replace it with new. And now that you've got these new resources, it's like going out and buy a new couch, and you get to decide what to do with the old couch. So this is the opportunity right now, what to decide to do with those old limiting beliefs, those old resources. If they are still useful and life-giving, you could pass those on to someone else. But if they've outlived their use and they are no longer serving anyone, you can throw them away. And once you have cleared your space and installed your new beliefs, found a good spot for them that they feel very comfortable, and you can look around yourself and just love the space that you've created with these new beliefs. And I invite you to be open to know what is the first thing that you're going to do with these new beliefs. What is the first thing that you're going to do with these new resources? What's your inspired shortcut of the best use of these new beliefs, this new resource that you've invited into your life? What's the most important thing you can do today? Your inspired shortcut. In a moment, I'm going to open it up for some shares. We'll probably have time for 2 or 3 shares. And while you're kind of gathering your thoughts, I just want to offer myself as a resource. Would love to have a 15-minute conversation with any of you if you're struggling in this area at all, to help you to feel like you have more resources to work with. You have more faith to allow God to provide the resources when they're needed. To maybe have the ability to discern, what do I need and what is just like acting out of fear, what's really needful. So if you're needing that extra support, I would love to have that 15-minute conversation with you. And all you have to do is just go to askwilene.com, and that will take you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute free mentoring session with me. askwilene.com. Also, just want to give an invitation to anybody who is not already a member of our Facebook group, Breakthrough with Gratitude. We'd love to have you join there too. Who has something they would like to share about their experience today?
I'd like to share.
Michelle, and then Melissa.
Okay, I am going to say I am so grateful to be on this call this morning because the kids are ready for school and it's hard to get on, but I felt inspired. I need to do this morning because of certain circumstances, and I just had to find clarity because I wasn't feeling clear this morning, and you just opened my eyes about resources because I was thinking, what am I going to get out of this, this experience, but then you opened my eyes to a different avenue of resources, because when you mentioned resources, to be grateful for my new home, but it's been hard because we had to move from, we used to live in Orem, and we loved there. We loved our new ward. We loved the people there, and we loved, that we had these new experiences there that we had, right? And then we had a notice from the landlord and said we had to move out within 30 days. And we were trying so hard to stay in Orem, but didn't work in our favor, and then we were blessed to get the home in Payson within 30 days. Everything just fell into place and everything worked out the way it did. But yet I still struggle with the gratitude because I just not having a good experience here as I would like, as I hoped. But then God's letting me know, hey, there's resources here that you may not know or don't see. You need to open your eyes. There's people that need help. There's people that need you and you need them. And that just made me realize I need to trust God and let Him be the teacher and let Him guide instead of me trying to complain and not be grateful for what was given.
Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. I really feel your gratitude. So thank you. And I'm so grateful that you were on this call. And you're right, there are opportunities that are presented to us, sometimes outside of what we feel like is outside of our control, but who knows, but what that notice from your landlord was divinely orchestrated, and that you were guided to Payson because that is the perfect place for you to be right now. And what a wonderful opportunity to step into faith. Thank you. Melissa.
I just am so filled with gratitude, and I was at the store while we were masterminding and listening to the meditation, and I just felt such an overabundance of resources in my life. And my limiting belief was actually about my husband, who lives in a lot of scarcity. He is like a sign seeker, and he sees the signs of the times and the writing on the wall, and he does not live in gratitude enough. And what really was coming to me is that I need to just kind of allow him to go through the emotions that he's feeling of scarcity, even though I want to take it away. I want to make him feel better. I want to tell him, no, there's a better way, gratitude. And but I can't force that on him. And so for me, it was just allowing him the space to feel the scarcity that he's feeling, and just to love him unconditionally. And for me to be an example of someone who is in abundance and gratitude, so that when he's ready, he knows that I'm there as a support, to help him remember that we are abundantly blessed, and that we do have more than is needful, and that God will provide for us even as times get harder.
Wow, beautiful. I'm just like picturing you in the store, and when I ask you to like do a 360 view of all the resources that God has available to us, I mean, what an overabundance, like you said, it is within your view right there. And it's actually like we have access to all of that. And you're absolutely right. There's to be able to allow others the space to feel what they're feeling, and that you provide the energy of abundance. You provide the energy of gratitude, and to just step completely out of that scarcity mindset, allow him to be there. But what an easy transition it's going to be for him once he opens his eyes and really starts seeing that abundance and gratitude that you're providing. What an easy transition that will be. And Melissa, I'm actually going to be sharing something with those in our Lord's Way to Wealth Mastermind group today that I think will be really helpful for you as well. Oh, I wish we could continue sharing. This has been some really awesome energy that you guys have created here. I do want to encourage you to go to the Breakthrough with Gratitude Facebook group, continue sharing there. We'd love to read your comments, especially if you are listening on the podcast. We'd love to have your comments of what you're experiencing as well. Just want to continue our conversation. Love you guys. We will look forward to being back together tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And thanks for being on the call today.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much for listening. And I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.